Services and patterns implemented in the architecture. Access point service, registration, authorization, change password. System logging service. Service for sending email notifications. File management service, download, delete, write. API gateway pattern, for creating proxy servers. Pattern RPC, additional abstraction in communication. Publish/subscribe pattern, interservice communication. Architecture structuring pattern, controller, validation, service. Documentation, Swagger OpenAPI 3.0. Admin panel, E2 framework plus Metronic. Let's jump into the documentation and run through the entire API of our architecture. General. User/register, user registration. /user/confirm, confirm registration via email. /user/login, user authorization. /user/logout, logout from the system. /user/password/forgot, password reset request, via magic link, /user/password/reset, reset password. /user/create, profile, update, delete, CRUD operations for the user. Next come the system request /system/npm run, request to execute a console program. We can update all services, restart, etc. /system/gateway. This is an example of delegating a request to our API gateway. /system/RPC, RPC communication example. /system/publish/task, an example of how the publish and subscribe pattern works. /system/heavy, this is an example of blocking the event loop. From the scaling lesson, /system/fork-heavy, create a child process. /system/worker-heavy, create a new thread. Test RPC action, general RPC, this is a test RPC handler. npm run, general subscribe, a handler that listens to the general queue, and this is where the console program will run. Logger microservice /mongo/clear, request to clear all logs. And 2 queue listeners, npm run, system request to call a console command. Log create, writes a log that will come from any microservice. Media microservice /admin/file, API for uploading files. npm run, media subscribe, system request. Mailer microservice /sendgrid/email, makes a test request that will send an email message. And there are 3 queue listeners, npm run, mailer subscribe, console run. Mail register, mailer subscribe, responsible for the letter that will be sent for registration. Mail forgot, mailer subscribe, responsible for the letter when changing the password. Also, along with the architecture, there will be an admin panel based on the E2 framework, which runs on the Docker plus Nginx plus PHP/PFPM bundle. Here is the access point. KRUD operation for the user. Uploading avatars through our microservice. There is also a search and various widgets. There is a log page. Where can I find out any information about the desired microservice? There is a page for monitoring queues. Page for monitoring PM2 processes. And a page to view all databases. Now let's move on to deploying the architecture. After you have purchased the source files, they will be archived. Unpack to the desired directory and open the project in the code editor. First of all, we need to upload the core architecture to the npm server. Go to the npm site. Create an account and log in. After we have created an account in npm, we need to connect to it through our terminal. We open the console and enter the command to connect to the npm server using the accesses for which we made the account. Let's enter the command to check access and see what our login displays, which means that we have successfully connected to the npm account. Now we need to come up with a name for our core and upload it to the npm server. Usually called common and the name of the project, i.e. common, translated as common. I'll name common microservices. Open the package.json of our core and enter a name. We are all set to load our core. Recall that in the scripts block we have a command which is responsible for loading our core. With this command, we will upload and update our core to the npm server. We open the console and call our script with the npm run pub command. As you can see, the download has begun and the console says that our module was successfully published and the version was assigned. Now at the second stage we raise microservices. To do this, we first need to install the npm modules with our core. We go to the general directory, make sure that we have a configuration file. Now we open package.json and in the dependencies block we specify the name of our core. We also go into other microservices ourselves. And similarly, we check that there is a configuration file and in package.json we write the name of our core. After we installed the module for microservices, we need to set up our global config file. It lies at the root, open it. I won't repeat myself about all the values, since we covered it all in our course. If you don't understand what these values are responsible for, I recommend watching the Docker lessons in this playlist. The only thing is that when you change the host name, do not forget to change the connection URL as well. That is, they must match. Ports must also be free, do not forget to. We set the name of our core in common_path. And also do not forget that the port in Jinx and PHP-FPM for the admin service must be set manually in the configurations. They must match. And we also have to manually configure the Mongo database if you want to change the values. And now it remains to raise all our services in the Docker. Let's go to the README file. We have a hint here, as we can see here a reminder of the entire algorithm. 1. Create a configuration file if it does not exist, an example from the env.dist file. 2. Install microservice modules npm install. 3. Install modules for the admin panel composer install. We will do this later. And then the commands for raising microservices begin. Install from top to bottom. We start with RabbitMQ, a message broker. We enter the command docker compose up d-rabbitmq into the terminal. It is advisable to install separately, so that the Docker does not lag. While our services are being installed, you can check those that have already been installed that have an interface in the browser. It happens that the service was installed but did not start, so be careful and always check in the Docker interface for the operation of services. We check the base of the logger service, everything is fine, we go in. Our logger microservice has risen. Let's look at the logs. As we see, there is a successful launch of the microservice, which means that everything is installed successfully. Install next. We have come to the installation of the admin panel. To do this, we need to install PHP-FPM and Jinx. Before installing the admin panel, we also need to install the modules first. Let's go to the admin directory and install the modules. Open the console and write composer install. Modules went to be installed. Now we need to check the configuration file. Open env file. Here we have to check the correct hosts and ports. Nginx is running on 8005 for us, which means backend_host_info should be 8005. Next, set the port for RabbitMQ. And so on we check, monitor_adminer I have 8004. Secret, must match the global configuration file. Media_URL, I have it 8002. And we connect the database. For me it will be such a user and host. The configurations were checked, the modules for the admin service were installed. Now we need to install services in Docker. Go ahead and install PHP FPM first and then admin. The services are installed, now you can check the admin panel. Go to my Nginx port 8005. Loading is in progress, the first time it will take a long time to load. And we get to the authorization page. That's right. Now we need to create a user so that we can log into the admin panel. Remember that the general service at the URL/user/create is responsible for this request. Open Postman and create a query. Specify necessarily in the role of admin, and send. Everything is fine, the user is created. Now we try to enter the admin panel under these accesses and see that we got into our system on the user page. And now we have one user in the system, that's right. Let's test our media microservice for uploading files. Let's create a new user and upload an avatar for him. Everything will be loaded, save. And a new user was created. Now let's delete everything. It deletes everything perfectly. The Sweet Alert widget works great too. Let's move on to other pages. Everything works great. And so we got such an architecture, which is ready to solve various business problems. Friends, thanks to those who have been in touch with me, all the best, and see you.